In this video, I buy 5 Novas and I only take what I need. Okay, so I bought these 5 Novas from my buddy. This is a 69 up front, this 71. I bought these two 71s, and then I bought this 72 4-door. Now, this 69 right here, I actually got it last year. He gave it to me, was talking about selling the shop. This was the one I wanted. He was going to keep the rest of them. Now, it's in pretty rough shape, but it's definitely savable. It's a heat-only car. It's missing a subframe. Windshield's kind of falling out of it, but it's not busted. The body's not completely rusted. It's got a lot of surface rust, but it's not terrible. The back windshield's in it. Not a lot of rust around here. Get the door open. It's got some interior in it, some crappy looking door panels, but they are there. Armrest. It's got the window cranks and the levers. It's got a dash, got a few holes drilled in it for some gauges. It's got a floor shift steering column and 4-speed pedals. The rear ends, the axles are just kind of hanging out, and it's got some flat tires bolted to it, but I'll be able to get it rolling by putting something on there. So it's in pretty good shape. Now this one is a 71. It's in really bad shape. It does not have a VIN. Somebody's taken the VIN out of the dash, so it's pretty much junk plus the condition. It's an air car, but the box is busted. The firewall you can see right here is dented in really bad. The dash isn't rusty though, and it's got a few pieces of trim on there. The door looks like it's okay. The door trim is in pretty good shape. A few pieces under the dash. Floor pan's junk. The roof skin on the back here, you can see it's really rusty. Quarter panels are garbage. The trunk pan, I don't know how, but the trunk pan is actually in pretty good condition. It's got a taillight lens in it. Maybe the taillight housing is not terrible. So anyway, like I said, it's going to be scrap because it doesn't have a VIN and it's in such bad shape, but I'm going to cut as much out as I can. This car is a 71 also, and it's in pretty rough shape. It's got some trim on it that's okay. It's got a 71. It's got doors on it. The front of the roof skin's in pretty good shape where the window channel is. It's got a few parts under the dash, the ashtrays in there. The roof skin on the back is junk. It's got a back glass in it that's okay. The rear taillight panel is garbage. The trunk pan you can see is garbage. Deck filler's junk. So the whole car is junk, but it's still savable. So like I said, it's somebody's robbed top of the quarter panel out, but it's got a rear end in there. That's about it. Now this is a 4-door 71. It's got a 307 and a power glide in it. Now I don't care anything about the 4-door, but if you look at the engine compartment here, the car's pretty much unmolested. I mean, it's missing the fan shroud and some radiator hoses and a battery, but everything else is, for the most part, untouched and unmolested. All the wiring's there. It's just how the factory put it together, so it'd make a pretty good blueprint. Now I don't know if I'll use the power glide for anything, but basically from the dash forward, this car is identical to a 2-door. So I'll sell the 4-door parts off of it that I don't want, and then I'll use the front subframe, the air conditioning, and all that other stuff, and the engine. I'll be able to use that in one of the projects, so it's not too big of a deal. So yeah, pretty good looking car, and it's got a good front grille and the bumper straight on it, but rusty. The other car right here is another 4-door, 72. It's got a grill in it. The grill filler underneath the plastic is still in usable shape. The core support looks okay. The fenders got a lot of surface rust, but they're usable. It's got a couple of doors on this side, trim on the drip rail right here. Trim's in really good shape. I'm going to sell that to somebody who's got a 4-door. Cow panel's a little rusty, but it's probably usable. Got a lot of the dash parts in it. It's an air conditioning car, and the box doesn't look completely destroyed. The seats are junk, but it's got a glove box lid. You see the dash cluster and all that stuff in there. So now what I have to do is figure out how to get all these out of here. None of them roll, not a single one. Now, the first 69 I showed you, I've got an extra front clip at the house that has wheels on it that'll roll around, or subframe. I'm going to take that over here, throw it up under it, throw some tires and wheels on the axles on the back, make it rollable. That one's going to my house. The rest of these are all going to some storage. So, yeah, I've got to figure out how to make that happen, and I'm going to film most of it for you guys. So let's get to work. It's the next morning, and I brought a subframe. I'm going to try to get it under the 69 and make it rollable so I can take it home, and then I'll come back and get the rest of these. So enjoy watching me struggle by myself. More to go. Okay, so we got 69 out of the way. Now I've got to move to 71. I'm working on the ones that I'm going to keep first. The rest of them, like I said, I'm still not sure. I'll probably sell some parts off the 4-doors, whatever I don't use. This one's in the same situation as the first one I did. No sign under it, but it does have tires on there. So I put the tires to put on the back, and I went to the house and got another subframe. I'm going to roll it under there, bolt it up just like I did the first one. Pretty much the same deal. We're going to make this happen. I got my friend Billy with me. We're going to help it out and hopefully get some of this stuff loaded up and moved today.
Pick up from the same spot?
Yeah, a little bit farther. Right here. Roll too. But they're releasing. Okay, that went pretty easy.
Snap of a finger and got a front end under it.
Why don't we just get it running? How about that?
Well, we got them better in the bed.
Yeah. Yes, sir. I need that sledgehammer if it's sitting over there somewhere. It's on top of the other car. It's a hot rod now.
Hell yeah.
Is that what they mean by an open differential? Yeah, that's good. All right, let it down. Okay, so that's two that are rolling and ready to go, and it's the two that I'm going to keep and do something with. The other 71, like I said, no dent on that one, and it is completely trashed. Not that these two aren't, but it's way worse. The four doors, like I said, I'm going to use them for parts. The front clip off the one with the engine in it, it's got a Power Glide 307 front clip. All the wiring, everything is attached, so I'm probably going to cut it from the roof straight down in front of the dash and keep everything from the back of the subframe forward. And then on the other four door, I'm going to take some trim parts and a few things off of it, the front clip, the dash, some of that stuff, and that's it. The rest of it's junk. So anyway, we're going to get the other two ready. I got to put a rear end under this four door right here, so it'll roll. It's already got the front subframe, so I'm going to get these two out of here, put a rear end under that one, and then we'll start moving some cars. Okay, well, now that we got it strapped on the trailer and I can look up under it a little bit, the floor pans aren't hardly rusty at all in the back. The passenger rear is dented, driver's side dented a little bit. The front passenger has a little bit of rust, but the toe boards are okay. So it's in way better shape than I thought as far as the floor pans. Cow panel's a little rusty there, but it's not terrible. This quarter panel's junk. It's been patched in before. Back's junk. The cross rail, it's pretty rusty. Gas tank, but the frame rails are in pretty good shape in spite of the trunk floor being junk. But all that's available reproduction. The rear end's been open for years and years, so it's garbage. Leaf springs are no good, but like I said, a lot of that stuff is easy to replace, or at least it's easily available, even if it's a bit of work. Worst is the roof skin and the quarters, obviously. This one's, been patched in. The rest of the quarter panel wasn't really terrible, so it sucks that somebody took this part out. The looks pretty good with the mag wheels on it, but anyway, going to try to get this to storage, see if I can get the door open, and a bunch of parts on the inside. I haven't went through any of this. So, again, it's not terrible. A little bit of interior pieces, a seat back, and you know, bunch of garbage. So we're going to get this one on the road and get it to storage. Okay. I don't have a chair to roll into the shop. My apologies. Anyway, we got this thing in storage. It wasn't difficult to get in here. The rear end, since it's been open for years and it's all nasty, it doesn't really want to move. So rolling backwards was pretty tough. It didn't want to move. It was chattering and making a bunch of noise. But anyway, it's in here. Now we're going to go get the 69. And like I said, the condition of this thing is a little bit better. Oh, wrong. Don't let me understate how bad it is, but at the same time, it's a lot better than I thought it was. It's more savable than I thought. Even though for most people this would be a basket case. Anyway, we're gonna go get the other car, and I gotta get some drink. I'm beat. All right, we got the second one loaded up and almost strapped down, and this is a 69. I've already showed you some of this, I think, but the floor pan is not in as good a shape as the 71, especially the tunnel, but it's not as clean, but it's also not terrible. The toe boards are okay. It's got clutch pedals in it, so that's pretty cool. It's still got a dash. It's only been cut a little bit. It's got a floor shift column, so that's cool. I mean, the column's in rough shape, but I mean, I can probably make it work. Got a few extra trim pieces, a bent up grill. It's got door panels and armrest. Certainly usable, but not anywhere close to nice. If you had to have them, you could use them. I guess you could redo them. Anyway, yeah, so we're gonna get this one over to the storage, and then we'll come back and start on the 4 doors. Okay, we got the 69 in storage. Now we're gonna head back, and I'm gonna start pulling parts off the 4-door cars and load them up and bring them over here and store them, because I don't have any room at home, and my wife is not real happy about having 5 more Novas, but actually 4. I bought this one last year, but we'll get to that in another video. Anyway, let's go cut some 4 doors up and hopefully get done with this today, but it's gonna be dark in a couple hours, so I'm not sure. Okay, so we're back at my buddy's shop, and this is another 71. Now, it's in pretty rough shape, and I really don't want to cut this car up, but I'm going to cut this car up. And, you know, it's a shame. It looks like even the dash is not in terrible condition. I mean, there's a ton of surface rust. You know, the firewall's kind of caved in here. The big problem, there's no VIN. It really sucks to cut up a Nova. This one has no frame, no engine, no transmission. So what I'm going to, this door is shot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, there's no door on the other side. I'm going to cut this door off at the hinges, and then I'm going to cut across here and save from here forward. It's got a radiator support and a grill. Fenders are probably usable, even though it's got a dent in it. And the dash cluster and all that's all in there. So I'm gonna, I'll cut this one across here. First, I'm gonna take this drip rail trim off if I can do it without destroying it. Okay, I know that the A-pillars on a 4-door are longer because the windshield I think is the inch and a half longer, something like that. I don't know for sure, but I know it's longer. And I know the A-pillars, I think they're the same angle, but I think they're longer. Might be a different angle, I'm not positive. But anyway, the construction is the same. So I'm going to cut this right here, and I'm going to save this A-pillar. So even if it's at a different angle and it won't work from here to here, I can patch one to the section in a piece and be exact, and it's easier than trying to bend something up. And then hopefully I can save this drip rail. The screws are stripped out and rusted. I'm going to see if I can drive it out, so I'll probably cut it like right across here and see if I can save this piece also. Somebody might need that. Okay, hopefully the wind noise is minimal, and so is the noise. We're next to a highway. So anyway, there's the back of the car. Here's the front of the car. Dash was really rusty, as you can see, but the front grille and some of that stuff is usable. Once I flipped this up in the air, and the bottom of the core support's fairly rusty, and I'm hoping there was a lot of dirt caked on it, but I'm hoping the bottom of the fenders isn't gone. There was 2 inches of mud caked on the bottom of that. I couldn't really tell, and it started raining, so I left it alone. But the instrument cluster is actually pretty decent. It's got a good looking air conditioning control thing. A lot of the wiring and stuff is intact. The heater box and all, I'm not sure how much is usable, but it ought to be plenty of good parts there. I said the dash pad's pretty cracked up. I mean, yeah, you could clean it up and use it if you had to have one, but I wouldn't. Like I said, the fenders are fairly straight, plenty of surface rust. Again, if the bottoms are okay, they're definitely usable for a beater, which is, you know, hey, a rusting running car is better than a sitting rusting rotting car. Okay, so that's the last one on the trailer. We had to go get some tires and put them on there, and bunch of noise, sorry. Anyway, this one's headed to the house. I'll take my time cutting it apart. Probably the same thing. There's a lot of good parts on here for 4-door cars. I'm going to try to sell those. Anyway, I'm going to get this home tonight and then get the other couple of pieces that I've got cut up laying around here. I'm going to come get those tomorrow if it's not raining. And then, yeah, hopefully we'll have a project with one of these cars really soon. See you later, guys.